Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a quick post-match stream. Leeds United have drawn 2-2 to Cardiff City after a Crysencio Somerville equaliser in the 96th minute. Leeds United went 2-0 down. Josh Bowler scored the first and Ugbo scored the second as Leeds United were subject to a defensive disaster class once again. Leeds starting the game with three left footers in the back line. Luke Ayling had nothing short of a horror show first half, and Leeds were really disjointed, and Cardiff stunned the Whites into silence, really. Good finish from Bowler, obviously recently joined Cardiff City, and Ugbo with the finish there as well. And Leeds were, after a fairly promising start, some nice interchange between Nonto, Somerville, Sinistera, some fluid movement. Leeds were pegged back, and it was the same old story. Leeds conceding the first shot from Cardiff in the game, and then they conceded the third shot, I believe it was, from Cardiff. It could have even been the second, and it felt like a familiar story for Leeds United, where we can just shoot, and nothing seems to come off, even at championship level. But it seems like the opposition are just able to get that little bit of luck when it comes to Leeds United, but there was nothing short of defensive howlers. The first goal was another Ayling disaster class. Luke Ayling, who just doesn't cut the mustard for me, and hasn't done for a long time now. The better, if the sooner Cody Drame can come back or Leeds can go out and get another right back, the better for me. He's just nowhere near it, and there's going to be more and more of those lapses in concentration from Luke Ayling throughout the season. I didn't really like the combination of Struijk and Cooper. I think with two left footers, it's a little bit narrow. To be honest, it narrows your play. I don't think Struijk is competent on his right foot. I don't think Cooper is either. So it just means you're very restricted to certain patterns of play. If only two of them can use the left foot, it becomes very narrow. Overall, it was just for me a good start. But we've seen it so many times with Leeds United where it's good. But at the end of the day, the ball's not in the back of the net, and yet it was a very frustrating look at what was maybe to come. And when you look and you analyse exactly what is the makeup of Leeds United's defence, what has changed? What has changed? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You've got Leo Yelder, who was on loan at Rotherham last year, and we're asking him to be part of a playoff push this season. I like Yelder, but the depth is just not there, and you've got the worst defence in England statistically over the past couple of seasons, which hasn't been improved on. And at any level, you build from the back, and Leeds haven't built from the back. We are still in a transitional moment where we are top heavy, and we can see that. And we can do that. That's fine if the 49ers and everybody else want to go down that route, but we are not getting promoted if that is the way forward, unfortunately. It just will not happen. We are not getting promoted if we are just top heavy the entire season. It's going to bite us on the arse more than once, because in transition, we're just not good at defending, and you saw that again today. Unfortunate in that first half. Second half was much better. Leeds were a lot more like the Leeds United that we saw in pre-season. Transitionally, going forward, we looked dangerous. Thought Crysencio Somerville was fantastic today, the best player on the pitch by a country mile. Sinistera, I thought he was lacking a bit of fitness today. I thought there was several points where he was in the box where he could have pulled the trigger or pulled it back. I thought he was quite poor. When you're looking at Willie Gnonto, I thought he was bright for periods. Dan James came on. Dan James obviously featured. I thought he was really poor in that first half when it came to decision making. Second half, he seemed to get better, but annoyingly, it took Leeds a half to wake up, and we just can't. That can't be the case. They've got to be on it from moment one. But you were looking around that side today. I thought Archie Gray played well. Ampadu played well. But it does come down to those archetypal Leeds United errors that we've seen for years now. And if you don't develop, if you don't bring in new players, those mistakes are going to continue happening. And you're relying on kids to help that. Cresswell coming on, obviously. Cooper gets the equaliser on 49. You're thinking, here we go. Nonto probably should have scored from a chance just after that. But Liam Cooper goes down with a foot injury. And like Patrick Bamford, this is the dependability that you get with Liam Cooper. He's consistently injured. So this is what the the backroom staff, they need to start realising and understanding that these things are going to be happening with Leeds. They need to speak to people in the medical department and do the due diligence that way, because even if they've not kept on tabs with the injury record at Leeds, players like Bamford, players like Cooper are always going to go down injured, always throughout the season, because, we've seen it, it's patterns, it's trends. And I thought, when Cooper scored a fantastic header and you felt it lift, the crowd lifted, and I thought Leeds, they were shite. They were shite. There's no bitter lemons from me at all, because I was coming into the game saying, we've got to watch out for any team in this division, because they're going to see us as the cup final. You heard the Cardiff City fans absolutely loving life. There's all the Premier League fanboys online as well tweeting about Leeds United. This is what I mean. This is the reputation that we get, and we have. So coming to Leeds and getting something is a big deal. But Leeds were the better team today. We were the better team. Unfortunately, and we're just not ruthless enough, and we are horrific at the back, and we will probably be one of the worst teams if you to isolate our defence in the Championship if we don't sort it out. You can absolutely muller teams with possession, but you've also got to have that stronghold at the back, that when teams do get on you, teams are in those transitional moments, you can cope with it. We've got too many flappers and too much inexperience at the back. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a good second half. The first half was just absolutely diabolical, in my opinion. And there were too many bozos. That's the issue. There are too many bozos who have made the same mistakes over year upon year upon year upon year upon year. So that is the big issue. Too many bozos who are making the same reoccurring mistakes. So yeah, overall, I think we need to. We need to look at it and really take some positives out of it in terms of Crysencio Somerville, who I thought was excellent. A little bit of a fluid four, I guess. I think the thing which was irritating a little bit is there was some really nice interchanges and some 1-2s. The only thing is we're missing a focal point, aren't we? We're missing a striker. Gelhardt isn't that. I thought when Poveda came on, he was decent, especially, he was able to incorporate that central attacking midfield role, but also go on the right and try to take their players on down there. But I thought when Sam Byram came on, I know there was a little bit of a lift, but he's just not it for me. He's not it for me, everyone. A lot of the, some really good areas where he could strike the ball and just blazing it over the bar. And I just thought to myself, a bit of composure in those moments, and he's maybe another one who doesn't have composure in those moments, and also someone who can't get the ball and maraud down the left-hand side and utilise his left foot because he's so heavily right-footed. So yeah, that's a bit of an issue for me. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really create a balance because he's always cutting inside. The ball's always coming to Ampadu and Archie Gray because he can't use his left foot. You see what I mean? So the balance of the team is just off unless you go to that front line. But I thought Cardiff were just sitting in, and Leeds really had to be perfect with those 1-2s because there was about 8 Cardiff players around Somerville, Nonso, and Sinistera. So yeah, a lot to work on. And this is what I was saying at the start. I do want to point out that. It's not an I told you so moment. I said this on Twitter, but the amount of abuse I have had this week for putting Leeds United 6th has been unbelievable. And I hope today, for a lot of people, has been a bit of a reality check because this division is hard. The teams that were performing yesterday were playing at a very decent standard and looked as good as us today. It's going to be a hard slog of a season. It really, really is. Now, my point, my point overall is not that we can't make this top 6, but I do want to measure expectation a little bit. The amount of crap I got for saying Leeds were going to finish 6th, the amount of crap I got for saying this is going to be a tough division this year. That illustration out there is why it's going to be tough, because you cannot win this league with the squad that we've got, the profiles that we're missing. Pablo Hernandez was there in the stands today. It was crying out for a central attacking midfielder today, crying out for someone to link midfield and attack. And even go drop deep and collect the ball and start spraying it out to the wings. Ampadu's doing it to an extent, but the vision of Pablo Hernandez in his day, for example, for an example, who'd get the ball, split our 2 defenders, and then maraud forward with the ball and start picking passes. I know he's a unique example, but Emi Buendia, players of that ilk, are able to do that. we're missing that profile. We're missing a left back who can just get down that byline and cross it in, whip it in. Let's see what happens, because Yelder doesn't have that turn of pace for me, and Sam Byram's too right-footed. The centre-backs are not good enough. Liam Cooper is now injured again, so there needs to be reinforcements brought in. Parag Marate was there today. Hopefully he's seen that. Hopefully Daniel Farker goes back to him and says, look, boss, look, this is Cardiff City, who are likely going to be in the bottom 6, bottom 7 at the end of the season. And they've come to Ellen Road and scored 2 goals. You have to build from the back. Now, we're speaking about Elan Mele before. Mele's not Mele for me. And this isn't just casting him out. I said at the start of the game, I'd like to see Darlow. I want to see what Darlow's about and build him maybe into this side. That doesn't change after today for me. But this is what I'm saying, everybody. There are so many profiles that need to be replaced in there. Gray was losing the ball a little bit. I thought he had a fantastic debut, but he was losing the ball a little bit. Have we got someone off the bench that when it's maybe getting a little bit too much for Archie, the young lad, in there, can we bring someone on? Not really. We've got Shackleton. He's never been good enough. So there are so many points. We can't just rely on Crescencio Somerville, Nonto, and Sinistera for the entire season. It's completely brain dead. So hopefully that has been a bit of a wake-up call for many people when it's come to the expectation. Fantastic end to the game there. Fantastic. We're the better team by a country mile. I keep saying this. A country mile. They were shite. But they came, they dug in, and they got a point. A team who's, as I keep saying, is probably going to be in the bottom 10. That is what we need to take from this. Profiles need to be added to this side to firm it up, to solidify the back line, to integrate creativity, to enable a finisher in there, someone who's clinical, who could have put some of those chances away today. If you're having a proper number 9 up there today, you're scoring 5 or 6. We'll just get into a couple of your comments, everybody. No, Steve, I wasn't saying Mele was at fault. I'm just saying I haven't been convinced at all that there's no change. There's no change in my headspace that Elan Mele should be Leeds' number 1. I still think we can do better. I'm just saying on the basis of today, nothing's changed with that with regards to me. Ampadu looks classed over Mele. Yeah, Ayling is a liability, no room for sentimentality. But Ishi, just in that sentence, mate, you bang on. The rejuvenation of Ampadu is something that we all needed. And you can see he's just class. He's absolutely class. But the old guard are still causing problems. And I call them the old guard and people get upset. Unfortunately, they are. But the old guard got us back into the game today, Liam Cooper. But was he subject in that first half? You'd probably say so. The leader at that back line. I'm not saying it's all down to Coops because you got the other guy at right back who can't defend. But the experience in that back line in that first half, we're just nowhere to be seen, and the youngsters were suffering. But as well, Pascal Strout. I've spoken about Pascal Strout being someone who I champion, and he is someone who I champion in terms of ceiling. His ceiling for me has always been one of the highest, but his consistency is woeful. He's too weak. He's too mild. He's not the classic centre back. And I don't think that's there is a modern centre back as well who still has aggression in his game and still is confident in his decisions. I don't think Pascal's got any of that, to be honest with you, and I think it's slightly worrying. I thought in pre-season we've seen a slight improvement, but once again there always seems to be a dip with Pascal. That first goal, let's not all just label it at Luke Ayling as well. Where's the centre midfield following Josh Bowler, who had 2 bites of the cherry? Who's near him? No room for sentimentality. Needs more strength in the squad if we want to sniff promotion, but good to see some fight from the lads. Yeah, it's good, but what I don't want to see, Ishi, is the crowd doing everything like it was under Marsh. And I'm not saying this is anything to do with playing style, but the crowd are getting them over the line because they've not got what they need on the pitch to be able to do the job themselves. The crowd are always the 12th man, because there's points in this season where you go away from home. We all know that. Half the games are played away from home. Then the crowd is going to be on the opposition side. So, that's where the lads need to step up. It can't always be Ellen Road. It's an advantage, of course it is, but I am sick of hearing Ellen Road as the 12th man. It all has to be on the Leeds United crowd. It's, the Leeds United crowd are down today, so the players might feed off that vibe. Oh, look at the Leeds United fans, they're behind them. That's the bonus. And yeah, that's great. But I want players who are on that pitch who win the game by themselves. And yeah, the crowd is obviously a bonus, but we need more than that now. It's not just Vibes FC. Go off Connor, fire up about the celebration for the draw. Somerville is a beast, though. Christ is king. What was Ayling doing for that first goal? Same old, says Mr. P. Yeah, 100%. Someone's saying, where is Dal? Where is JB? I don't know, really. I don't know. I'm not sure where he is. But even JB, when JB was coming in, it's just not enough, is it? Come on, everyone. It's not enough. It's not enough. We need a midfielder. We need a Lewis O'Brien. We need someone to come in who's got a bit of experience in the Championship, who can dictate. Who can dictate the game a little bit. Central attacking midfielder, Elias Chair, whatever. I'm throwing names out there. But experience in the Championship who have quality. Let's not. How far are we going to go down? Why don't we just go down to the under-13s and pluck a left back out? You know what I mean? Can we just invest in the squad a little bit and bring in some proper quality? That's what I want. That's what I need. That's what we need right now. Because this is, as I keep saying, I reiterate this one more time, Cardiff are bab. They're a very average, below average side who have been predicted by a lot of pundits to be relegated. Birmingham and West Brom coming up is going to be two much harder propositions. So this is what I mean when the squad needs investing in. It needs investing in. And if we can't do that from an FFP standpoint, go get some loans. I don't understand why we're delaying on loans. Loans are profiles of players where you don't need that much financial output apart from maybe the wages, but the bigger clubs are normally able to pay a large percentage of the wages. You put a little loan fee in there, but overall it doesn't impact FFP that much. Go out and do some loans. Go out and get some players from some big teams and see what can happen there if we can't outlay loads and loads of money when it comes to financial offset. Hamer was great today. Just need to go and get him as our 10. Nat Phillips, Joe Pro and Charlie Taylor. This is what I mean. El Bao says we must have had 70% possession, but it doesn't matter. And I understand your possession kills teams. We saw that with Burnley, didn't we? We saw that Burnley last season. We've seen that with Leeds before. But at the end of the day, you need to be ruthless. You have to be ruthless going forward, and you have to be solid at the back. If those entities are not on point, then you're not getting anywhere near promotion. You're not getting anywhere near it. So a lot needs to change at Leeds for me. And it's great. Look, we're all on Vibes FC, aren't we? We're all really happy now. Somerville scored in the last minute. Everyone's euphoric. But let's take a step back and look at the actual issues, which probably will bite us on the arse, because the same people who are going euphoric about a Somerville goal and thinking it's the best thing on planet Earth were telling me that we're going to be winning the league this season at a cancer. And we still might. But right now, this squad's not getting close to win the league. Great little end to it. But let's be honest. Let's be brutally honest. We shouldn't be drawing to Cardiff City at home. We shouldn't. Cardiff City should not be coming to Ellen Road and going 2-0 up. It's just something that shouldn't happen. It's great that we've got the draw, but am I happy, satisfied? Not at all. Not at all with that. A great ending. Fantastic ending. Great to see some of our youngsters. Somerville, excellent. Archie Gray, solid first debut. Ampadu, first championship start at Ellen Road. Great. But there is so much work that needs sorting at the back. So much work that it's kind of worrying me at the minute that this still is being left. And if this continues to be left, Leeds are going to be left in the Championship. It's dead simple. Squad has playoffs written all over it. For me, that's a high expectation. It's a very high expectation. Let's not look at the playoffs and think, oh, bloody hell, we've made the playoffs. Oh, playoffs is going to still be difficult to get. Listen, guys, as I keep saying, my for the last month, me coming on here and saying that it's going to be a tough division this year, people have been laughing at me. They can't believe I've been saying it. Leeds are going to win the league by as many points. No one's going to get near us. All this sort of stuff. And this is what I'm saying today. We're all in this together, through ups and downs, of course, but there needs to be a general recognition that this squad isn't good enough right now to touch it. And drawing against Cardiff at home isn't going to be evidence for an opposition from that. We need serious investment in this squad for me across the pitch. As Jamie said, same old issues. Honestly, I feel we'll struggle mid-table at this rate. People should stop underestimating. Yeah, and I've seen Carl there. It's the first game of a 46 game. It is, Carl. It is. Once again, the same people who are saying to me that there's like 3 weeks left of the transfer window. It's true, and you're bang on. You are correct. Of course you are. But let's see something. I don't want to do this thing where we get to game 10 in a championship season and we're kind of, oh, what's going on here? And people are saying, oh, we're only 10 games in, because that's always the rhetoric. We don't want to be left behind. The two teams that we're competing with to win the division, if that is the expectation, have got off to a flyer today. Of the last weekend, not off to a flyer, but they've got 3 points on the board. We need to now keep up. We need to keep up, don't we? We need to be in and around that top 6. We don't want teams to be pulling away. I personally think there's going to be a team in this division who is going to pull away. But yeah, at least we've got a point, as Phil says. It's just really frustrating for me that we're still having the same problems. Dyer at the back, not ruthless going forward. Great point at the end in terms of us battling. That's fantastic. But I'm not here to battle. I'm not here for the fans to be amazing, and the fans are always going to be amazing. But be the however, the fifth, the 12th man, I should say. The fans got them over the line. Let's have the players get them over the line. Let's have quality on the pitch. That the fans are a bonus. It's fantastic, but really we'll do it on the pitch. Thank you guys for your help, but we'll do it on the pitch. We're good enough. We can wear this white shirt, and we've got enough quality to win the game without the fans being the 12th man, which they always are because they're fantastic. But I'm just sick of hearing this rhetoric because it did feel a little bit like we pushed them, the Leeds fans pushed them over the line again today. Look, is it Birmingham next? Birmingham up next. It's going to be a tougher test. As I said, Cardiff aren't nowhere near good. I'm not happy that we've drawn it today, but we've come back, haven't we? I guess. And look, I know people will be wanting me to balance this out. It is the first game of the season. Everyone's right. But let's take action now. Let's take action. Guys, that's been it from me. Really appreciate all of your support for this one. And let's have this one. I'm just going to read out a few more comments before we go. But you ain't proper Leeds billing. yeah, I had this one the other day, by the way. So I gave saying it because I criticised Coops and Ayling. I got told I wasn't Leeds. So yeah, and yeah, there you go. So yeah, this sort of stuff happens. Millie, Ayling, Firpo, Bamford, Greenwood, Cooper and Strauch to go. Where was the quality in the team? And bench fed up of watching this rubbish. Yeah, that's it, mate. And we're all on a bit of a high, aren't we, for the equaliser? But I don't disagree with you. The problem is how much market value do you get for that lot? How much market and how many teams want them, really? But I don't want to be seeing Luke Ayling start. I really don't. I want to see some proper defenders come in. Because I'm watching Millwall yesterday. I'm watching, even Norwich, who looked defensively okay, apart from that Liam Delap, issue. Blackburn, who were defending for a period of time, waves and waves and waves of West Bromwich Albion attack, and they're holding out, and they're looking strong, and they've got wily Championship defenders. Cardiff get through us 3 times and score twice. It's going to come and bite us on the arse when we play better teams. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, everybody. We're going to be back very, very soon. Really appreciate your comments on this. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I read all of your stuff. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.